What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? This is your boy, Will's Wrestling Corner, back at it again with a brand new video. Now, if you've read the title or this little banner right here, you are going to know exactly what I am talking about. Obviously, last night during SmackDown, there have been multiple WWE releases that have been announced for yesterday, February 7th, 2025, fresh off of the Royal Rumble. And a lot of people can say they saw coming, but it is still unfortunate. We've had Cedric Alexander, we have Blair Davenport, which was probably the most shocking. We have AOP of the Final Testament and Sonya Deville. Well, Sonya Deville isn't officially released. She was informed last night that she will not get her contract renewed by the WWE. We're going to have our thoughts on all of those here today and read maybe some tweets about this situation. The first one that was really announced was Cedric Alexander. And I'm going to see if I could pull up the tweet here. He said this on Twitter/X. If I could solo this. Thank you for the last 8.5 years. Being a professional wrestler has been a dream of mine since I could form memories, and I will continue to do so till the good Lord says otherwise. Hashtag see you in 90. Now, Cedric Alexander, obviously one of the most talented professional wrestlers WWE had on their roster, but we could say this for basically half the fucking roster at this point. They didn't know what to do with him. Cedric Alexander obviously was part of the 2016 Cruiserweight Classic. He was a former Cruiserweight champion, won the fucking belt at WrestleMania of all places. He was good in the Cruiserweight division. Then obviously he went off, became like a mid-card act for a little bit. Then he was a part of the Hurt Business with MVP Shelton Benjamin and Bobby Lashley and stuff like that. And then after that group ceased to exist, Cedric Alexander has resorted to enjoys nice catering, which is sad. I mean, Cedric Alexander, obviously, he's a little bit small. And everybody in the WWE, oh, you gotta be big, or you gotta be a big name in the indies in order to essentially get pushed. And Cedric, he stayed there for a long time, and it's very, very unfortunate. Obviously, myself, like I know a lot of others, are going to think I do expect Cedric Alexander to go to AEW and join the Hurt Syndicate when his 90 days are up. Apparently, there's also reports that a lot of people in AEW also expect the same thing with Cedric Alexander after his 90 days are up, going to AEW and being a part of the Hurt Syndicate, which honestly, I think would be good for him because at least then, and this is one of the few times that I will ever defend Tony Khan in any aspect, he knows how to push people that people in the WWE regime don't really want to push. Next on the list is AOP of the Final Testament, Akam Razor, and also Paul Ellering, the legendary Paul Ellering, manager of the Road Warriors. And I don't know. You also see a little text, which I didn't even mean to pull up. My buddy, friend of the channel, Will Ferris, says it's time for Hunter to consider having a legit conversation about the reigns fully. We're going to have our thoughts on that later on in this video. But let's talk about AOP first. AOP was brought back around the same time last year to align with Karrion Kross, part of the Final Testament. And besides the ECW nostalgia match at WrestleMania 40, AOP did next to nothing. So what was the point? What was the point in even bringing them back? This is the second time that AOP has ever been released in terms of WWE. AOP are such a great tag team. I loved them ever since their first run in NXT, and they're just doing jack shit. Final Testament, was supposed to be this very big group. I'm one of the biggest Karrion Kross fans out there, but AOP were really just background characters for Karrion Kross, and then later The Miz. Good job, Hunter. Round of applause. You definitely know how to bring people back and be like, we're gonna book you better than good old Vinnie Mac did, and then not do shit with them. Congrats. Jesus Christ. I lose more and more faith for Triple H by really the day. So that's AOP. It was so pointless for them to bring them back. I got so pissed about this too. I texted Wolf. I was like, you got to be kidding me. And at first, people reported that Sonya Deville has been released. But really, it's a bit of a correction that Sonya Deville will not have her contract renewed by the WWE. And I think it's set to expire at the end of February. Sonya Deville probably had the most screen time out of every one of these releases by default. I'll say that. Besides maybe Cedric. I don't know. Obviously, Sonya Deville was brought up to the main roster as part of Absolution with Paige and Mandy Rose. Then the tag team Fire and Desire. She turned heel. Then she became a bit of an authority figure. And then after that, she went on to try to team with Chelsea Green. They won the women's tag team titles before Sonya unfortunately got injured. And then Sonya came back and formed the Pure Fusion Collective with Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark. Sonya Deville, it's very unfortunate. Sonya is very talented and she can talk, but I feel like we should have seen this release coming from a mile away. However, I do feel like WWE should have really utilized Sonya Deville, especially with the women's mid-card championships that are part of the WWE. You could have really pushed Sonya into that, especially if you're trying to sell Sonya as the leader of the Pure Fusion Collective. But nope, she's not getting her contract renewed, so I guess it's safe to say she probably won't be on WWE programming until February is over, and she is out of there. Zoe, Shayna, don't pick up that fucking phone. But yeah, it's very sad. So she's not released yet, but she'll be gone end of February, I think it said. And then I think this is the last one. Blair Davenport, with the most shocking out of all of the releases that happened last night. And the reason why I say that is because Blair Davenport was made to be such a big deal, right? Oh my God, Blair Davenport from NXT is going to SmackDown. But everybody and their grandmother knew that WWE was going to have no fucking clue on what to do with Blair Davenport. Blair Davenport is obviously pushed heavily in mine and Will Ferris's WWE 2K24 Universe mode. And this release really set me off guard, but it really didn't as well because Blair Davenport was heavily featured on NXT, should have won a title, in my honest opinion, but who am I to judge? Then she was brought to SmackDown. She had a little bit of a weird feud with Naomi and then tried to align with the Unholy Union, Alba Fire and Isla Dawn, and then she disappears. It's like, bye-bye. What? And I've seen a lot of people bring up this topic. We already covered all the releases. Now let's talk about Triple H. I've seen a lot of people say this. And I do think it holds true. Don't bring people, don't call people up from NXT if you have no creative plans in place. And I agree. But what are you going to do? If you need Nia Jax to squash somebody, there's Blair Davenport. If you need Jacob Fatu to squash somebody, there's Cedric Alexander. You know what I mean? But the thing that really got to me was AOP. A year and a month back in WWE, and they had nothing for them besides background characters to carry and cross. And as much as I thought the Final Testament was sick, that's kind of dumb. That is really fucking dumb. But yes, I've been saying this for years. I haven't really made it public on a video, but I hate when they call someone up from NXT, especially a talented man or woman or tag team, and they have nothing for them. Because then what is the point? Because they're booked so much better in NXT, you might as well just keep them in NXT. And then if you have nothing for them in NXT, let them go. Simple. But we should have seen all these coming. I mean, we can't say that any of these releases were booked prominently on the card, but we can say every single one of these people are talented. But this is a fucking shame. This is honestly a fucking shame. I hope that all of these people find work elsewhere, continue wrestling, whether it's, in North America or whether they go to Japan or Australia, something like that, the UK, whatever it may be. I hope that these men and women continue to find work, get some good work, and continue to make a name for themselves, because this is unfortunate. And Triple H really needs to look in the fucking mirror and think, wow, how terribly am I booking my roster? Think about that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to have to conclude my little mini rant here on Will's Wrestling Corner about the most recent WWE releases. What are your thoughts on these releases? Leave your thoughts down in the comments below. I'd very much love to see what you guys think about this. Also, be sure to support the recent videos and check out my appearance on the Savage Wrestling Podcast. You can go and check that out. Be sure to check out the Super Mario 64 playthrough series that I've started and everything like that. And until next time, this has been your boy, Willie Does Wrestling. I will see you. I keep fucking up. This has been your boy, Will's Wrestling Corner. I will see you in the next video. Be good, people, and peace. Later.